how are you? I am here with my 2016 financial goals video. I didn't really make a resolution this year, but I set a goal. So the goal that I set for 2016 is to complete Dave Ramsey's Baby Step 3. So I don't have any debt. I haven't had any debt like ever. I've always purchased used cars. I have had a job since I was 16 years old. I worked 3 jobs through college. I got a scholarship for my first graduate degree, and the second graduate degree I cash flowed. So I don't do student loans, never have, won't do them. I don't do car payments, never have, won't do them. I buy cheap used cars and I pay cash, and I don't have a car payment. I have never had a car payment in my life because I choose to live below my means. I could go, and I have great credit, I could go and get a very expensive car and have a car payment, but I refuse because it's just a car and no one cares. So anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But I want to complete Dave Ramsey's Baby Step 3 in 2016. And so I am well on my way, actually. I kind of started this in November, and some of those videos I posted in November, I told you guys that I was kind of trying some things, filling some things out to see what I was going to do to try to up my income. And so this is just kind of like an update video, and I'm just going to give you kind of like an update on some things I've been doing to kind of kick off the year with a strong head start towards that goal. So as a public school teacher, I have like 6 years of experience, and I have a master's degree plus 30, which puts me up on a higher pay scale, but I still make less than $3,000 a month. And some people are like, well, that's good money. I agree, it's decent money, not for the amount of education that teachers have. Teachers are highly underpaid, but I'm the only one paying the bills. So I don't have a husband, you know, where my check can go towards all the bills and all that stuff, and then his check can go towards savings or other things. I don't have anybody helping me. It's just me. So by the time you pay a house payment, you know, for one person that's living there, the paycheck goes pretty quick. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. I actually have it better off than a lot of my teacher friends because, like I said, I do live well below my means. When I purchased my house, I got approved for like $350,000 or something, and I was determined to get a house under $100,000 because I didn't want a house payment that would stress me out all the time. And so I think the best choice I ever made, my parents were very influential in that process. They always said, you need to buy below your means, you need to buy below your means. You can always upgrade, but you don't want to be in trouble where you have to downgrade and you get in a financial pinch. So my parents were very wise in coaching me on buying my first home, and you know, there were a lot of things I wanted to improve about my house. There were a lot of things I hated about this house, but I am so grateful for it, and now I absolutely love it. Like, you would have to blow me out of my house with dynamite. So anyway, I've been doing a couple little things to try to up my income, and every little bit of this is going directly into my savings account because I'm trying to save my 6 months of living expenses. And so that would be less than $18,000, but for simplicity's sake, I'm going to say it's $18,000. So I have to try to up my savings account to $18,000 in 1 year. That is almost impossible. That is about half of what I make. Well, it's exactly half of what I make because after I pay all my taxes and all that, I bring home about $36,000 a year. So yeah, a little bit less than $36,000 a year, but that's about half of my income. So that essentially means about half of my paycheck needs to go into savings every month, which is impossible. So I'm trying to do things on the side to bring in additional income to try to help with that. Now, I really only have to save about $12,000 this year because I already had some in my savings account. So I really only have to save $12,000 this year. And if I divide that out, obviously that's like $1,000 a month, which is over a third of my paycheck. Again, almost impossible, but I have really reined back my budget, and I am trying, at least for this 1 month, I've been really good, and I was able to put $900 in my savings account last month. That's not $1,000, but like I said, if I can do extra things to supplement that, I think I'll be able to make my goal by the end of the year. So one thing I did to supplement that is I sold a ton of stuff on Craigslist, and I did this over Christmas break when I actually had time, and I didn't really sell a whole bunch of different things. Basically, I sold hordes and hordes of books. I used to teach elementary school, and I used to teach literacy, and then I moved into a math position. And so I've had all these like brand new books, like brand new amazing books just in storage, and so they were pristine. They had never even been read. The spine hadn't even been bent. And so basically what I did is I would take one of the big like book order boxes, and I would fill it with like 55 books, and I put them on Craigslist, and photographed each book and just, explained the titles, listed the titles, and basically I would sell them for boxes of books for about like $30. And so I'd sell like 50 books for like $30. Some of them and then I had a whole bunch of like box sets, like this brand new shrink wrapped like Goosebumps box set and stuff that I had purchased for my classroom. And then, like I said, I moved to a different position. So I basically made, over like a 2-month period, I made like $400 off of books, and I made room in my storage shed. So I just needed to get rid of them, and I needed the room in my storage shed. So that was awesome. Then I just had like some random things around my house. I bought a new furniture set, and so I sold my old furniture set for like $60. And then the other 140 I made off just, like little kind of things here and there from the house. So the biggest chunk was by selling my books. Finally, I've been meaning to sell those for like 2 years, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. I finally bought the bullet, and I sold every single book, and so I was so excited. So that 600 is going to kind of, if I can do 900 a month, that extra 600 will account for that missing 100 for 6 months or half of the year. And I put that $600 directly into my savings account. And so so that's one thing. I don't really have anything else to sell on Craigslist. There's not really anything else I have that would be of value. I have like some old clothes, but they're like really old. So those I'll just, donate. So I really don't have anything else to sell out of my house on Craigslist. So then I was kind of thinking, okay, well, what am I going to do now? So I actually decided to be a homebound tutor at school. And I have done this before. I've always done homebound tutoring, but since I have moved to my current district, I haven't. So I haven't done it in the last like 3 years, but before that I did consistently. So this is nothing new to me, but it is a lot of work. So basically what homebound tutoring is you have to be a certified teacher in like a school district. And if you are a teacher, you might ask around and see if this is a program that they offer. So basically when you have a child that's in the school district that has a major surgery, like a back surgery, and they can't come to school for 6 weeks, or they get a car wreck, that happens a lot with like high schoolers, or they have like a football injury, and usually there's some sort of surgery involved, or they have a severe chronic illness. Like I've had a kid that had like severe diabetes before. I had a kid that had back surgery. Anything. Another thing is if like you have a high school student that has a baby, and so they're on maternity leave. There's like a million different reasons that kids can be on homebound status. And basically it's usually like a 6-week period before they can come back to school with like the release of a doctor's note. And so I basically act as the liaison between the school and the child. So I contact their teachers, I collect all their work, I bring their work to them. You have to work like 4 hours with them every single week, and so that's a lot on top of already working 50-60 hours as a teacher. And so you sit with them, you tutor them, you teach them what they're not there to learn because they're homebound, you help them get their work done, and then you get it back to the teacher. So you make decent money at it, but it is, oh my gosh, so much work. So I've been doing that the past 4 weeks, and so I haven't been paid for it yet because you don't get paid till like the next month. So I'm not sure exactly how much I'm going to make after taxes and stuff, but I'm hoping it will be a couple $100s that I can again put directly into my savings account. And I'm actually starting with a new girl, so I'm gonna have another case that I'm gonna be working on. So I'm doing that on the side of additional teaching, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm trying to save up this amount of money. And so I was going to get a second job, but I think that the pay with homebound tutoring is going to be competitive with any other job I get, and it's teaching, which is my forte. I'm good at it, and I think the flexibility of the scheduling, because you basically just work out with the parent when you can meet with them, and so there's a little bit more freedom and flexibility with the scheduling because it's just like a contract between me and the parent about when we're going to meet. It could be a weekend or a weeknight or whatever. So there we go. So again, I haven't been paid for that yet, but hopefully it will feel like it's worthwhile when I do. I am completely exhausted and completely overwhelmed by it, but I am really finding that I love it. Like, it is so, I'm starting to kind of realize about myself that that is like so my passion, working one-on-one with kids that are in a tough time, because I feel like it matters more. Not that what I don't do every day matters, but it's more like triage. It's like intensive care. They need me now if they're gonna pass. And so I just find it very rewarding. So I don't know, even though it's so much work and I'm exhausted, I really enjoy it. Like, I love these kids. They just have such a place in my heart for everything they're going through, and I love to be the one to help. Like, I feel completely honored. So, moving on.